So this next question really touched me on many levels when I originally asked you, and I'd love to hear you share with our audience your feelings on a quote that has transformed into more of a mantra of sorts for you. After the year many of us had with the difficulties that have arisen due to the pandemic and the resilience that has been required, a pick me up like this final question is very apropos. So Eleanor Roosevelt once said that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. What is your history with this quote, and what relevance does it hold for the young professionals today?
I would say I selected this because to me, this is where I came from. This was when I was a young engineer and I didn't know something. I wasn't a part of the conversation at the table. Sometimes just being 5'2" and talking with a bunch of other people, I felt like I wasn't a part of the conversation at the table. And you feel like you're dismissed, like your knowledge, your experience, you can't contribute to resolving the problem, so you shouldn't be at the table. And I think early on, I kind of took that to heart. And you have to grow to know that it's not because you don't have the intelligence. It's not because, you can't contribute. You can, and you should be at the table, and you should be a part of that conversation, even if it's just to learn. So without your consent, so I was essentially consenting to them not including me, or to not being a part of the conversation, or not being consulted or informed. And know that that is not on you, that does not mean anything about your value or what you have to contribute. It just means you need to find a way to come to the table and not let other people comment or thoughts impact your thought or thoughts about yourself. So coming out of school, wherever you've come from, whatever your education, your internships, or anything you've brought to the table, all of that counts. And you will get there. It may take some time, you will get there, but being at that table is important.
Thank you for sharing that, Paula. I think our listeners are really going to, appreciate that. Although we talk a lot about soft skills on here, this is more of a emotional type question that I just really wanted everyone to hear. And I'm sure that there are young professionals out there that have felt this way at some point. I mean, it's always hard to, enter into the industry when you have all of these, senior, experienced, executive type people. It often feels like, you're that little kid in the room raising a hand, trying to, make sure that, somebody at least sees you. So I really just appreciate you sharing your thoughts on this today.
Yes. And you mentioned mentorship before, and I think that's an important part of this. And having a mentor, someone's typically senior, even if it's just a few years senior, or someone who's gone through a situation that you've gone through before, I think helps you relate to the other perspective and that other person relate to your perspective. And if you can build that within your own organization, all the better. It'll give you an opportunity to understand what you need to do to be successful, to come to the table to contribute.
Well, once again, listeners, our time has come to an end. I and the YP division would like to extend our thanks to Paula for sitting down with us today. So thank you, Paula.
Thanks, Garrett. It was a pleasure talking with you today. I'm really excited about the work that you're doing and talking with industry professionals. And I can't emphasize enough the value that TAPPI has brought me, both technically through training, through courses, through participating in committees, and now as paper and board division chair, the experience that I've had working with wonderful professionals throughout the world, and especially to the women in industry for the soft skills side of it, and understanding the technical contributions of all these great other people at TAPPI. So just knowing these people has made me better.
Well, we certainly hope that you took something from this conversation as well as our listeners. And, please check out more Perspectives content by visiting the TAPPI Young Professional website and clicking on that YP Perspectives link. Thanks again for listening, everyone. Stay safe this holiday season, and we'll see you in 2022.